Hello everyone! Welcome to another incredible interview for the Local Legends Kickstarter campaign for the newest expansion to City of Mist. I am joined today by Logan Reese, but you may know him as the content creator and writer Runesmith. Runesmith, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. It's feels like an early morning, but it's 10 o'clock.
I feel like every hour of the day these days feels like an early morning.
You know, sometimes it just is like that for weeks.
Well, we're keeping the energy up today because we're talking about one of our favorite things to talk about, and that's tabletop role-playing games. So, for our audience who may not know who you are, Runesmith, tell us a bit about yourself. How did you get to where you are now, especially, writing for Son of Oak?
It's been an interesting and lengthy journey. It's, I think, been 4 years now since I hit the ground on YouTube working with Jacob and then eventually my own channel. And what led me to City of Mist specifically is when I was kind of growing up with Jacob, we had one of our friends who backed the first Kickstarter for City of Mist. And he brought it to the table and introduced it to us and said, let's play this. And it felt like such an established huge game. When I actually started playing it and talking about it and learning about it, I didn't know that it was just kind of a smaller project that he had managed to get on Kickstarter, kind of early foot in the door. So I started talking about City of Mist in my videos because it just felt like a really good reference point for, unique ideas in a tabletop RPG. And then Amit reached out to me and here we are.
Phenomenal. And now with the upcoming Local Legends, you have a case that's going to be in it. Actually, I believe that your case was a stretch goal. And originally, when I was playing this interview, I was like, this is going to be a stretch goal that hopefully we unlock. But we unlocked that stretch goal in the first day of the campaign. Yeah. So it is for certain that your case is going to be in this book. I'm so excited. So tell me a bit about this case.
Excuse me, the initial idea for the case was I was talking with Amit about potentially writing just a case because it's a fun game and I wanted to kind of apply what I had been learning writing with D&D 5e to a different system and see if I could kind of learn the lingo. And he gave me the go-ahead, and it was going to be in a separate smaller case thing, but now that we have the book, I'm really excited that it's going to be in a hardback. My initial idea was, okay, in a game where there's a bunch of murder mysteries and strange jobs going on, and the players are almost always the investigative party who have to figure out what this other person did and how to catch them. I thought, why not immediately have the party be framed? And that kind of puts them in the shoes of everyone that they would be hunting in most of these other cases, where it's okay, the police are after us, people want to know where we are, and we have to solve the case before things get worse.
That's really interesting. So can you tell us a bit about what it was like to write for City of Mist, especially given your experience with other tabletop role-playing games?
It's actually kind of similar. I just had to pour through almost all the writing in City of Mist and learn the lingo for what is a power move, what do you bold, what do you cite, where do you direct kind of the reader through the case. And my favorite thing, I've said it a bunch of times, is the iceberg that Amit uses to kind of write these mysteries. So it's the plot points and the evidence of how do they get to the very bottom and figure out what's really going on. It's been exciting though. I had a good time and I'm happy to revisit this after a year and a half or 2 years.
I do love the iceberg diagram too. Me and I have talked about it quite a bit and making a lot of our videos, but that's one of the things that got me into City of Mist as well, was just beginning of the case, here's all the scenes and how they're all connected. And it's amazing how many other modules and cases in other games don't have that simple graph of here's how everything's connected.
Yeah. It's genuinely really easy to follow as just a master of ceremonies to kind of just reference that dartboard of, okay, where might the players go next? It's a lot of fun.
So in writing this case, what were some of the inspirations that you took from to create the plot line or really get into the City of Mist genre?
Well, one of the first things that I got excited about was obviously the mythos of the non-player characters that are in the game, who's the big bad guy. And him being revealed to the party is a little late game, so I won't spoil that directly, but some of my favorites are There's someone who has the mythos of forget-me-not, or things that just have all been forgotten. So her ability is, it's difficult to play narratively, but we give you like a guide for how to manage it. This is a person who, when you look at them, you acknowledge them and you realize that they are a person, but the moment you stop looking at them, you forget any interaction that you had with them. So they make a fantastic cover for a lot of people who are looking through evidence and they see this person during the pinnacle point, and then the person goes off screen, so you have no idea what happened. And that she acts as kind of like a bodyguard and hitman for one of the major characters. And then there is, in addition to the police chasing the party, there is someone who has also hired hitmen to go and collect them. And this is an old kind of rundown biker gang who has the mythos of the Ghost Riders in the Sky, or the Wild Hunt.
So we talked earlier about how, like, the City of Mist case has, you know, the iceberg diagrams. There's a lot of different branching paths. Is Forged and Framed the kind of case where there's sort of a linear path, kind of like a roller coaster kind of thing, or is there more of like branching paths, different avenues to investigate, without getting too much into the finale twist, of course?
Absolutely. You know, it's a lot of fun to try and write to give players as much freedom as you can, while also giving them just enough direction to kind of get there. So obviously I wanted the player choices to majorly affect kind of how they go through this case and eventually get to their answers. So the kickoff is they see a news report, or a family member calls them, or they hear police sirens, and they figure out very quickly that people are after them. And that obviously gives the party the ability to just, or the crew to immediately get arrested, which is an optional route where they get arrested, they go to court, and they may or may not end up in a jailbreak scene that leads them eventually to, you know, a good connection that gets them to the enemy. And then on the other hand, they can get there themselves by really cutting through this and going directly to the scene of the crime and trying to investigate a place where people think that they already have been. And alternatively, you know, the hitman group that's after them can successfully capture them and take them to a whole third party involved in this that eventually reveals the bigger, much bigger problem than anyone realized is actually caused by this case.
And that's how City of Mist cases go. It's always like, oh, we need to figure this out, and then you figure out that something else is behind the scenes, which I love about every City of Mist case.
Yeah, and usually it's the thing that's behind the scenes that is causing everything, but this is actually a side effect of a simple museum heist and not knowing what they were stealing.
That's incredible. Well, I can't wait to see the rest of this case when Local Legends comes out. And if you want to back the Local Legends Kickstarter campaign, it's still going on. Check out the link in the description to not only make this project a reality, but also get in on some choice pledge tiers with different City of Mist products. If you've never gotten into City of Mist before, there are tiers with all these City of Mist books that have come before. We're going through stretch goals, as I said in the beginning. Runesmith's Adventure was a stretch goal that we immediately unlocked, and there's more coming in. So if you want to check them out, if you want to check out the daily unlocks where we reveal new content every day, go to the Kickstarter page. Runesmith, thank you so much for joining me today for this interview. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Everyone,
you as well.
And everyone else, have fun.